Hello, fans. Very exciting news for Sister Wives fans. Today, I am going to give a very important update about Kody's 4 wives and his children. Stay tuned for more details. In the December 1st episode of Sister Wives, Janelle hosted a commencement celebration for her and Kody's youngest daughter, Savanah Brown. She chose not to invite her 18-year-old husband. Janelle, who shares Logan Brown, Madison Brush, Hunter Brown, the late Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown, and Savanah with her ex, stated that Kody is estranged from 90 to 95% of his children. He is not particularly desired at events. Regardless of who he brings or does not bring, he is not attending. Kody's wife, Robyn Brown, is the final woman standing after Janelle. Christine Brown and Mary Brown all separated from the former polygamist. She is the aforementioned additional one. Kody is under the impression that he will be able to attend these family gatherings if he leaves Robyn at home, as Janelle observed, and that is so far from the truth. Kody appeared to corroborate Janelle's assertion by stating in his confessional that his family will only accept him if he excludes Robyn. I would like to be involved in Savanah's life. However, it appears that they are involved in a conspiracy that harbors animosity towards Robyn. He stated, I am unsure of the reason, except that they may be jealous. The other side of my family has determined that they are still a family and that we are to be excluded. I will be permitted to enter the club provided that I leave Robyn behind. I am incapable of accomplishing that. Ultimately, Kody did attend Savanah's graduation ceremony in May 2023 and posed for a photo with his daughter following the event. Separate from Kody, Savanah's siblings Gabriel, Brown, and the late Garrison also participated in the event. Janelle has not merely made remarks about Kody's estranged relationship with his children behind his back. She addressed the matter directly with Kody during the episode of the TLC program that aired on November 3rd. She elaborated that the children are all experiencing a profound sense of estrangement from you. There are numerous subtleties, and I am unable to be in the middle. Shortly after their 1990 vows, Kody Brown maintained that he was prepared to separate himself from his first wife, Mary Brown. However, he led me to believe that he would work on things by saying, "Oh, Mary, when we move to Flagstaff, this will be a good time to have a new beginning for us," Mary shared in the September 15th premiere, referencing their 2018 move. He has been doing this for many, many years. She expressed her primary concern regarding his lack of communication, his genuine emotions, his genuine desires, and the narrative he has been narrating for the past several years. And although Kody acknowledged that there may have been ambiguous messages, it was merely because he was wondering, why would I do this, as he began to work on the matter. He elaborated, I would not pursue a romantic relationship with her at this time. Regardless, Mary's pals were overjoyed when she eventually withdrew the plug in early 2023. They are saying, we are here to support you. She acknowledged, it is long overdue. After removing her blinkers, she now believes that he had been attempting to convince her to leave for years by claiming he did not love her. She believes that if he can force her to leave, he is not the evil person because he did not walk away. In the season premiere, Kody admitted that he was prepared to abandon the goal of constructing a home on the 14-acre plot of land the family had acquired in Flagstaff, Arizona. Years after the acquisition, he informed his remaining wife, Robyn Brown, that he would almost rather abandon it or sell it and then start over somewhere else, as he was unable to build without paying the full $820,000 price tag. Robyn responded, I am unable to discuss that. I am not at that point. Although Janelle Brown, Brown's second wife, had previously disclosed to E! News, we gradually began to drift apart. However, it was Kody's shortcomings as a parent to certain of their children that ultimately compelled her to depart. The primary catalyst for me was the breakdown of his relationship with my children, and he did not appear to be willing to go to great lengths to rectify the situation. As the mother explained to Logan Brown, Madison Brush, Hunter Brown, Garrison Brown, Gabriel Brown, and Savanah Brown, I then realized that this was the primary factor that had kept me in this position. Despite Kody's suggestion of reconciliation in the November 3rd episode, Janelle was adamant about it. She stated, I am uncertain as to how I would ever reconcile with him and have him not have a relationship with my children. No, I will consistently prioritize my children. That was the rationale Kody provided for not exerting himself more to address the divisions he was encountering with several of his children. I no longer belong in the family, he complained in the episode that aired on September 15th, noting that he was still entirely married to Robyn and co-parenting their 5 children: Dayton Brown, Aurora Brown, Brina Brown, Solomon Brown, and Ariella Brown, he added. And then I have some relationship with some of the other kids, but it's infrequent. Therefore, I am left with the question, what am I to do with all of this? It lacks the essence of a family. Robyn admitted in the season 19 premiere that they are likely committing the most grave errors in their marriage, despite the fact that they are now genuinely monogamous for the first time in their 14-year union. Our relationship has been difficult. He is uncertain as to whom to hold accountable, whether it be himself or one of his other spouses. I believe that Kody is experiencing a significant amount of rejection, and as a result, he is observing me and wondering, will you also reject me? As an outcome, she disclosed, I am constantly on edge. I am required to ensure that our relationship is not being undermined on a consistent basis. She summarized the most challenging aspect as follows: there is no resource available to assist with the notion that I am still married to a man who is undergoing divorce. Meanwhile, Kody was experiencing a crisis of confidence, stating, I am unable to look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, dude, I have affection for you. Robyn found it difficult to observe her erstwhile sister spouses as they embraced their new era. In the October 27th episode, she observed that they are all transitioning. I feel as though I was the one who was overlooked. Madison, the eldest daughter of Janelle, should be included in the list of children with whom Kody is not presently involved. Janelle clarified during the premiere that Maddie has not engaged in any conversations with her father. Robyn has not been phoned, she has not contacted him, and she has no relationship with him. She has essentially disregarded both of them. Janelle stated that the matter at hand is Kody's ambivalent relationship with Maddie's children, Axel, Evangeline, and Josephine. She is adamant that he refrain from engaging in any form of communication until he is willing to make a commitment. Kody did, in fact, interrupt communication with Maddie and her spouse Caleb Brush when the family began to disintegrate, as Janelle disclosed in the episode airing on September 22nd. Maddie has been mama bear to the extreme, Janelle added, as Kody has not visited or called. She has believed that it would be more beneficial for them to remain unaware of him until he can demonstrate consistency, punctuality, and avoid being overly dramatic. And although Robyn acknowledged that she has been encouraging Kody to reach out and repair the situation, she also stated, I believe the children should be doing the same. Kody, however, does not appear to be prepared to mend the breach at this time. He complains that each conversation with his daughter is a source of rumor, and I have grown weary of it. He was alluding to the fact that he never loved me and felt like he had to marry me while spending time together on their 32nd anniversary, Mary shared in a conversation with her companion Brandy during the September 15th premiere. And I asked him, Kody, I said, I know you loved me. And if he did not, Leon Brown's mother stated in a confessional, why did he ever propose? She was perplexed as to why a single young man would choose to marry a single young woman and merely affirm and impose love for her when he did not love her. How callous is that? To select me from a crowd and simply say, I have chosen you to attempt to force myself to love for the next 32 years. Kody's response, which he disclosed in his own confessional, was as follows. Oh, Mary has her little accusations now. Fine, she can say whatever she wants. I'm not going to comment on it. Nevertheless, he would disclose that they never experienced a honeymoon period. On the October 20th episode, he insisted that this marriage was in a state of disarray. How could I have known this? Because I had a superior relationship with Janelle, Christine, and Robyn. He acknowledged that he should have ended the relationship 25 years ago, but he continued to do so out of dread. He noted that leadership would never permit him to marry again if he were to forsake wives. Janelle acknowledged that the initial step was to pay off the Arizona property, despite her uncertainty about whether she would prefer to construct on Coyote Pass or sell it. In the September 22nd episode, she confided in her former sister-in-law, Christine Brown, that she believed she would need to consult with a lawyer, as Kody was unwilling to engage in conversation regarding the matter. She believed that this was the only way she would be able to secure a decision from him. Janelle acknowledged that I have no legal rights to make any kind of claim on Kody's property in the absence of a legal marriage. She stated, "It's not like I'm just calling a lawyer and saying I need to divorce this person. No, it's really complicated because there's no legal marriage." Kody's rationale for refraining from conversing with Janelle regarding their Arizona property is that he had lost confidence in her. He insisted in a confessional during the September 22nd episode that we will pay off the property when the time comes. I am not providing you with any information about my activities or whatnot because I am weary of disclosing information that is circulated in the gossip mill of our fractured family. In her interview, Janelle described herself as somewhat of a saucepan labeling the kettle black. She revealed that he is prone to leakage. He disclosed information regarding his prior relationships and spouses, which I found to be inappropriate. In the past, the family would combine their funds into a single container when their affection was still expanding rather than contracting. Janelle elaborated on the September 22nd episode that we would devote all of our resources to aiding one individual and subsequently unite to support the other. This was the standard procedure until the past decade. However, it has since evolved into a discussion about my estate, as everyone requires their own estate. So, when Robyn was in need of a home in Arizona, they all contributed to the purchase of her 5-bedroom, $1.65 million estate, which was listed for sale this past August. Robyn stated that the family's intention was for the property to serve as an asset. However, when Janelle proposed that they all sign the mortgage, she was rejected. Kody responded, No, we need to protect Robyn's estate," Janelle recalled. Consequently, Robyn would like to receive her share of the Coyote Pass proceeds, and I would like to recoup some of the money I invested in Robyn's house. However, that may prove to be a challenging proposition. Robyn observed that we had been collaborating for an extended period. In response to Janelle's assertion that she is owed money from them, Robyn expressed confusion, asking, "How do you calculate? How do you figure that out?" Janelle expressed her frustration with the family's inability to pay off Coyote Pass, stating that Kody claimed to have numerous other debts. Despite this, she has observed him acquire additional assets, such as trailers and home decor. I observed the art on the walls of Robyn and Kody's home. I see all of these things, and that's fine. I have money and have spent it on things, too. And although Janelle acknowledged that she was uncertain about the manner in which Kody and Robyn managed their finances, I was consistently astounded by the quality of her backyard. It was entirely completed, and there was always a significant amount of possessions in her home. I was like, wow. In conclusion, she stated that he does not prioritize her needs or desires. This issue ultimately drained her. I believe that I began to recognize it after a while, and my children were becoming extremely furious about it, much like my own children. They were like, "What the hell, Mom?" Nevertheless, Robyn maintained that she exercised extreme caution with her finances subsequent to the dissolution of her initial marriage. During the September 22nd episode, she disclosed that she was not particularly adept at managing money. She attributed this to the fact that she experienced adversity during her youth, and that she only learned to budget herself effectively during her divorce. In reference to her fellow sister wives, she stated, "You simply must have had a different priority regarding the allocation of your funds than I did." Janelle acknowledged in the September 22nd episode that she and Christine, who are the mothers of Aspen Brown, Michael T. Brown Padron, Pedon Brown, Gwendolyn Brown, Isabel Brown, and Truly Brown, currently have no contact with Mary, Robyn, or Kody. I do not anticipate that this will change significantly. Kody described their time in Las Vegas as the best of his life, describing the arrangement of 4 residences on a single cul-de-sac as everything was going along smoothly and Maddie and Caleb were around, and it was great having them around, and I loved Caleb. He was definitely like family. However, the situation in Arizona began to unravel as a result of the disagreements regarding coronavirus-related precautions. He further stated that his relationships with his children were strained as a result of the dissolution of his marriages. However, Christine maintained that there were complications prior to her resignation in late 2021. On the September 22nd episode, she stated that all of the children who were frustrated were already frustrated before I left. My departure did not alter his children's relationship with him. Kody has the ability to repair his relationships with his children, although it will undoubtedly necessitate some effort. Kody explained, "I have been so enraged by the way I have been treated that I have not been able to move past it. The issue is that I am not willing to accept responsibility for actions that my wife or ex-wife is claiming I committed. I am optimistic that the contempt will eventually dissipate, and we will be able to rediscover love and forgiveness." Kody disclosed that he and Meri were not particularly acquainted when they married spiritually and legally at the ages of 21 and 19, respectively. In 2014, they ultimately filed for divorce in order for Kody to legally adopt Robyn's 3 eldest children from her first marriage. Kody explained that Meri was significantly different from him when we married, and he believed that there was some baggage that I was unaware of. At first, he believed that he could tolerate it. He claimed that everything was a conflict, and he could not exist in a world where she was perpetually angry with him. Nevertheless, he was unable to depart. A man in plural marriage stated to Kody, "If he wishes to remain faithful and remain in the faith, he is unable to request a divorce. It is prohibited." Consequently, I was unable to exit that relationship. Simultaneously, I did not necessarily desire to terminate the relationship. I was interested in determining whether it was possible to repair and preserve it. Consequently, he acknowledged that Meri believed they would resolve the matter, which resulted in the conflicting communications. However, Kody continued, "She was never pleasant, never entertaining, never benevolent, and never captivating. I am endeavoring to engage in conversation with her out of curiosity, but I am experiencing boredom." In his defense, he acknowledged that he could understand why Meri felt abandoned. However, he did not expel me. Christine, Janelle, and Meri all elected to have me vacate the residence. Meri requested an official separation or release from her church in late 2022. Despite Janelle and Christine's belief that they were not required to divorce Kody due to the fact that their union was never recognized as legitimate. She elaborated in the episode airing on September 22nd. "When each of us 4 women married Kody, it was through our church. It is evident that it is impossible for all of us to be legally married. However, it was referred to as a covenant, so I believe it is in my best interest to end that relationship, as we are not proceeding with any form of matrimony, and I am not interested in being forever bound to him if he does not want me. I am currently in a state of mind where it would be beneficial to thoroughly disentangle this matter." The notion was met with resistance from Kody, who was unwilling to acknowledge the authority of the religious leaders. She added, "The damage was so severe that we will not reconcile." Regardless of the circumstances, Kody described his position. "Nevertheless, we are held accountable to God. I am not interested in being held accountable to this church and all of its nonsense. Therefore, I will permit Meri to proceed with her activities, as a confrontation may ensue if I become enraged. Additionally, I required her to depart, as it took her an inordinate amount of time to acknowledge that the matter had been resolved for years. The 18 Brown progeny were subjected to an especially unpleasant text message exchange regarding a holiday gift exchange in 2021. Christine elaborated, "It all went south. Kody, Robyn, and their children were on one side, and they had no interest in Janelle, me, or our children. A split occurred subsequent to this text thread. Robyn's perspective was that her 3 older children perceived the exchange as emotionally hazardous and expressed the need to distance themselves from the relationship. However, she maintained that the issue was never about, 'We don't want to see you again,' or 'We don't want anything to do with you.' Gabriel, on the other hand, is optimistic that they will be able to reunite. In the October 13th episode, he confessed, 'The most important thing I want is to simply have a relationship with Robyn's children again.' Aurora was my favorite person to hang out with in middle school and in high school. I would always try to approach Dayton. However, I am not optimistic about a relationship with Dad and Robyn. Aurora insisted on my inclusion in the family when her mother married Kody in 2010, stating that I was not their sister and that they did not regard me as such in numerous instances. Brina, her sibling, expressed her belief that the parents could have improved their efforts to foster a sense of family unity, which never occurred. However, Christine is uncertain as to how they could have extended their embrace any further. She insisted that Robyn's children and herself be invited to all events. I would simply say, just come into the house anytime you want. In the interim, she stated that her daughter Isabel Brown maintained a close relationship with Robyn's children, and Michael T. Brown Padron even resided with them for a period of time. She also mentioned that her children were frustrated during difficult times, but they always regarded Robyn's children as their siblings. Janelle extolled the virtues of plural marriage, stating, "When it is functioning properly, you are a part of an extraordinary family unit and a community that you are integrated into. You have a husband with whom you have a wonderful relationship, and you have everything. On top of that, I have complete independence." In her opinion, plural marriage was an exceptional arrangement. According to Janelle, Kody encountered greater difficulty in dividing his affection following the family's relocation from Las Vegas to Arizona in 2018. On the September 29th episode, she observed that Kody found it significantly easier to be away when he relocated to Flagstaff. She confessed that she had to remind him that he needed to come to my house on a few occasions, as he would attempt to excuse himself due to exhaustion. She shared, "I'm really tired." I'm like, well, you can rest in my house just as much as you can rest at Robyn's house. Janelle elucidated the sense of alienation her children experienced from Robyn, asserting that they were reprimanded for opening Robyn's refrigerator. Christine's children, on the other hand, were concerned that they observed Robyn and their father in a romantic relationship and that he was not present in their household. Robyn also stated that her crew sensed the division. "Mary was in general extremely tolerant of my children and myself. However, the rest of the family encountered significant difficulties in accepting us," she disclosed in the September 29th episode. "Our sole objective was to become a member of this family." However, Gabriel would contend that he and his siblings went to great extent to integrate them into the family. In the October 13th episode, he stated, "I believe that Robyn has a victim complex. To be frank. Additionally, I do not necessarily hold her accountable for this. I believe that individuals develop a variety of strategies to maintain their stability." However, he continued, "If she truly believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way, when she was constantly being favorited by Dad and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she truly believes that, then there is no chance of me ever having a relationship with Robyn again."